Well, hello everyone. It's been a while, I know. Just thought I'd make a quick update video as I'm getting set to sort of embark on, I guess what'll be my first spring in my adult life where I'm not working. And so that's interesting. I've survived the winter, if you will. And obviously I'm moving back to a few things that have kind of become forgotten in my life. I went and checked the old license plate on the BMW here, and it's been 6 years since I had it insured. I haven't ridden it in 6 years, which is crazy because once I started getting motorcycles again in my adult life, I'd always had motorcycles as a young person, and then as a teenager and a very, very young adult, and then I kind of got away from them. And once I got back into motorcycling again in the mid to late 90s, I've had motorcycles on the road ever since until the last 6 years. So it's time to do that. I've got time to ride. Now, I guess that's what ended up happening. It was kind of a financial calculation, like I would insure the thing, but I'm working in the shop so much that it would get ridden 2-3 times in a season. And it's just, financially, it doesn't make any sense to pay the money. Even though I could afford it, why pay for the insurance if you're hardly riding the bike? And, that has consequences. I have another motorcycle too. I've got a Harley Davidson Sportster 1200 Custom. It's a really nice bike actually, black and chrome, really beautiful cobalt blue color with cinnamon red kind of colored pinstripes, or dark. I guess they're darker red, more of a burgundy, I suppose. Really pretty bike, lots of performance upgrades and stuff on it. It's like riding a 57 Chevy Gasser with 2 wheels. It's a real fun bike to ride. Forward controls, a drag bar. It just feels like you're strapped to a motor whenever you're on it. That motorcycle hasn't been on the road in 12 years, going on 13. I mean, part of it is because even here where I live, it's relatively rural, especially since the pandemic, I've noticed a far greater amounts of aggression on the road, and it was already bad enough, I think, and I don't have that much desire to ride asphalt anymore. It was really what it boils down to. When you do the day trips that you can do from here, and when you're a dad or when you're a husband, with someone who has MS, maybe, I don't know, or someone who just prefers to kind of stick a little closer to home, there's only so many day trips you can do that are like loops from home and back again. And so once you've ridden all of those, it's like, well, I'll do that loop again, I'll do that loop again. You can create new loops by combining half of each other loop. Really, it's all the same at that point. I've done a few trips, longer trips, both solo and with my brother, but those aren't something that I would do often enough, I don't think, to justify, again, getting the bike on the road. And of course, it's not a ultra classic electric glide or anything like that that's comfortable for long trips. I've done it, but, like, your head is ringing after a full day's riding that bike. Who drives a 57 Chevy Gasser on a long trip too, right? The BMW is of course different because I only ride the asphalt to get to the dirt, and a lot of it's accessible quite close to home, and it's great. It's better than obviously a pure dirt bike that you got to load into a trailer and truck somewhere, and you leave your truck and trailer somewhere. Maybe it's vulnerable, maybe it's not, but you got to leave them all day while you're out there riding around. This thing you just ride right out of the yard, and I can load camera gear and whatever I want. I've got saddlebags for it too that I had on my F650 GS. I've just never put them on because I like the bike narrow, and so we'll see what I do now that I'm planning on riding it more. I've got the cover off right now because I'm going to put a new battery in it. Apparently they don't last 11 years, because it was like I had the battery in there for a number of years before I quit riding it 6 years ago, and I had it on a trickle charge. I've had it on a battery tender maintainer the whole time, but it's too long for a battery. So I'm going to do that, get it running, riding around, more camera gear in the back, and we'll see if I need more storage. Then I'll stick the saddlebags on it, which I have in my storage shed. I took them off the F650 when I sold that. So anyway, yeah, first spring since I've been retired, and I'm looking forward to getting out there, getting out in the bush again, and just experiencing a little bit of actual sort of free time, me time, develop my skills as a photographer, develop my eye, and just spend quality time in the bush. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I just thought I'd give a channel update. The last time I updated, got caught up in a whole bunch of, political controversy or argumentation, and there's really no point to it. It's funny, I made a few comments about your government constantly increasing the sort of the fear quotient, right? And that's what they're doing. It's all fear politics nowadays. The whole idea is to get everybody fearful all the time, and then that way fearful people look to the government for help. And you can even see it, there was a snowfall warning not that long ago for like 4 inches of snow, which is, they even talked about a windstorm, I think it was associated with 30 or 40 kilometer an hour winds, which is not that big of a deal. It's happening right now, actually. And they talked about possible threat to life and property. But they just, and everything is all hands on deck, absolute emergency at all times. And that was sort of the point that I was making in the video, and I ended up getting into a bunch of arguments with a couple of different people, one of which, or maybe both of which, who rage quit my channel, that's fine. My point being that it's a fool's errand, right, to discuss these things. But other than that, my focus is going to be on a little bit more self-care, a little bit more spending time doing the things I enjoy, the reasons that I actually retired. I saw a list earlier today, someone had posted, talking about luxuries in life, and there was a bunch of maybe 20 luxuries listed, and the first one was time. And I agree. I'm taking a pretty significant financial hit, I would submit, by retiring early, but time is certainly worth more to me than money. So who knows, maybe I'll even make a video out in the bush on the 800 GS. That'd be fun. Thanks as always for watching, and for those of you who stuck with me, for sticking with me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.